Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Mindful Witchery podcast.
Hi everybody, we've missed you. Oh Sarah, I've missed you so much.
I know, it's been so long.
It has. I feel like, we're just picking right up back where we left off. We just had this really mind-blowing conversation and finally said, we should be recording this.
I know, so much has happened since we last sat down and chatted and recorded, and so yeah, I'm officially done with finals, which I think I said last week.
Yay!
It is summer, almost. It feels like summer. It's like 90 degrees out today.
Today is 90 degrees or above, and then we're going to go back. Of course, this is how May and June work. Mm-hmm. It's 90 degrees today. Tomorrow's going to be 75, and then Friday's going to be 60.
Yep. Yeah.
If you don't like the weather in New England, wait a second.
Yeah, just wait. Just take a nap and wake up. Yep. It'll either be like thunderstorming or snowing.
I just hate hot weather, though. I'm not a hot weather girl. I mean, I like it when I'm outside being active and it's not too hot, but I don't like to sweat.
Yeah.
And I just, like this morning I woke up dreading today. I mean, literally woke up. The first thing I thought was, oh my God, it's going to be 90 degrees today. Yeah. So I go into full defense mode. Like, I go,
batten down the hatches.
Batten down the hatches. It's going to be a bad one. And I get out the fans. My kids got the air conditioners in the room. Yes, my children have the air conditioners. And I live in a condo complex where they're worried about aesthetics. Mm-hmm. So we can't have air conditioners in the windows in the front of our condo.
Really?
Because of aesthetics. Like you're worried about aesthetics, really. I don't understand it. But then again, I do live in the weirdest condo complex
you really do.
In Massachusetts.
I actually got here and the neighbors you were talking about that one time, they were fighting. Somebody was screaming. And I thought it was at me. Because I parked in front of their house, so I was worried it was me. I'm like, oh no, they're having, something's going on.
People fight, they scream, they stare, they eavesdrop on your conversations, they get your mail and open your mail. Oh, it's just the craziest place in the world. I cannot wait to move to my witchy wonderland in the Catskills where everything is going to be just amazing. We're going to be away from people. And
that's the dream. That's the American dream now.
It's the total American dream.
How far can I get away from everybody
else?
How
far can I get away from everybody else? And speaking of the Catskills property, my home for a witch, we have been finding the coolest stuff.
Nice.
I got a metal detector.
Oh, did you?
I bought a metal detector. Yay. Yes, I gave in and I bought a metal detector, folks, so I'm going to be telling you all kinds of things. We go up there and we find old wrought iron hinges from a barn door. Cool. We found a milk can. Oh. We found a wash tub. We found
like a big wash tub.
No. We found what looks like part of a key.
Wow.
All kinds of things, and 3 foundations. So this was a farm.
Wow.
And not only 1 spring box, but 2 spring boxes now. So we have fresh spring water spurting out of the ground.
You were kidding.
Not kidding.
Were they near each other? Or
they were about, I want to say, 50 yards from one another.
That's amazing.
I almost fell in the second one. That's how we found it. But this property just keeps giving and giving and giving and giving and giving.
See, when you got there, you knew.
Yeah.
Even before you bought it, you both knew.
It's just amazing. I cannot wait to use my metal detector some more and go out and find other cool things, even if it's just a can. I'll be happy. I'll be excited. It will pay for itself. The metal detector is going to pay for itself. I know it is.
We'll come and visit soon.
Yes. It's beautiful. And we're getting ready to get our driveway put in. They had to wait until it was dry, and it's just now getting dry enough to put in the driveway. Our camper's going to go up there. We're going to be so set up by the beginning of the summer, and it's going to be so exciting. And yes.
I can't wait to see it.
And we did find out that our water in our spring box is drinkable.
That is so great.
It is drinkable.
Awesome. How do you even get that? Do you have to put a pipe down there?
You know what's kind of cool? What's kind of cool is this whole process has been really neat. I didn't even know where you would go to get water tested.
Yeah.
And I guess there's laboratories all over the place that you can take it to. Like, we had to go and we went to the laboratory in Belchertown. There's a laboratory here. You go, you get a sample bottle with inside of a plastic bag, and you go and you put water into it from the well. You bring it back. They test it for things. Ours had a certain type of bacteria in it that comes from dead leaves.
Oh, okay.
Because it wasn't covered completely. Oh, so there were leaves that got in it and dirt and everything. So now what we have to do is we have to bleach the water.
Oh, okay.
And then we have to pump it out. and then let it fill naturally back up again. Yeah. We're going to put a pump in it.
Oh, cool.
It looks like what was done was they would take buckets and put them down because it's old.
Yeah.
It's about 150 years old.
Wow.
And but what we're going to do is we're going to put a pump in it, and we're going to use it to pump the water like the old-fashioned days, like the old times, like the Waltons or Little House on the Prairie or something like that. You know, it's going to be so cool and rustic, and I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for you. Oh, I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited.
Oh,
yes, Sarah and I will come.
Yes.
We want to come and visit.
And it's getting green now, so it's all just this beautiful, magical, mystical, witchy place. And the best part, I don't think I told you this part, we found a mound that's covered with grass, a dirt mound. And it's big. It's probably 3-4 feet high. So we're thinking that possibly this could be a junk pile, a trash pile. So we're going to dig into that when we go up there this weekend and see what happens.
Totally.
I'm so excited.
It's the best. Oh, junk. It is. It's really exciting. Stuff like that's so exciting when you find it because you never know what's in there. Mm-hmm. That's why I love yard sales so much.
Oh, I know. And this is the time of year to be going to yard sales.
Have you been to any yet?
I have not been to any yet because we've been so busy and stuff. But I'm planning on going not this weekend, but the next weekend because we're going to have to go bowling this weekend. But next weekend, I want to go to yard sales. I'm a yard sale enthusiast.
Me too.
I love them so
much.
My mom,
oh my God. If you need anything, my mom has this beautiful gift. She will find it probably that weekend.
Yep.
The craziest stuff. I'll be like, oh, I've been looking for this. Oh, yeah, okay. And she just like finds it. I don't know how she does it.
And people just are getting rid of the most magnificent things most of the time. I mean, granted, you go to some and they're losers, you know, but for the most part, it really...
Yeah.
You can really hit some good ones sometimes for really, really cheap. I'd much rather go out and buy a tool that my husband needs for less than half.
Like $1, right?
Yeah, than pay $75
There's some good ones around here. Like Western Math and New Hampshire has some good yard sales.
The only thing I find around here, though, is because Belchertown is such a, it's turned into such a young town where there's a lot of young families with kids. Most of the yard sales around here are like toys and kids' clothes.
We drive right by. If anything colorful, like there's a blanket of colorful, I'm like, no, we're driving by.
Yep.
Unless it's older kids' toys, we will stop because there might be Magic the Gathering cards.
There you go.
We have found some.
Oh, there's a woman on Belchertown Trash to Treasure right now who's trying to sell a whole set.
Oh, really?
Yes. But yeah, around here they're usually kids stuff.
Yeah.
And I used to love that when my kids were little.
Yeah.
I used to get all their clothes at yard sales. But now they're big and you don't have, people don't usually have men's jeans out or men's shirts. No. It's all little kids things, which is cool.
Actually, I've gone to some of the best yard sales. I hate to say it, but around Brattleboro. Because a lot of people there are very, holistic minded. Yes. And so I have found the best, herbal books and, crystals.
Can you imagine if we had a yard sale?
Oh, my God.
I mean, I'm a hoarder, and I don't give anything up, usually. But if we had a yard sale, we would have, the most holistic, cool yard sale.
I know. I have so many books that I could probably put out there. Yeah.
I have so many books.
Actually, that's what I'm working on currently. Now that school's over, my next big chore, I would call it, is packing and getting rid of stuff. So we don't have a house yet, but I'm packing anyway.
Absolutely, because it gets you in the flow and the mindset.
Yeah. So I need to go through all my clothes and I was thinking about having yard sale, but I don't think I have enough stuff.
I don't think we do now. I think, I mean, I have to go back down to North Carolina in August to go through my mom's things.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we already went through all my mom's stuff. She passed away in December. We already went through all the stuff and boxed it up and put it under the house. And my mom didn't have a basement. She had a cellar. So it's all down in the cellar. So now we have to go back in August and we're going to have a yard sale. And my kids are going to have to get under the house and go through the basement or the cellar and then get out everything.
Yeah.
To put out. My mother had a lot of antique things. She had a lot
crystal
of glassware and things like that. Things that I don't have space for, nor do I want to have space for it. I have my things.
Most people don't.
No, they don't.
Really? It's not, I feel like what we buy now is so different from what our grandparents.
I read an article about that, about how it was called "Why Your Kids Don't Want Your Junk."
That's, yeah.
Yeah. It's.
We don't have time.
No, we don't have the time. People don't just have curio cabinets full of stuff. And as I sit here and look at my curio cabinets full of stuff, but it's all my stuff. You know, it's Buddhas and it's sculpture and it's you know my 300-year-old Thai marionettes. You know, things that I collected.
Yeah.
There are some things that were my mom's, but for the most part, it's stuff that was mine.
Yeah, it goes to show how much things have changed in a very short amount of time. Like what people find important. Like nobody has dinner parties anymore.
No.
Not like that. Like we don't like all dress up in our Sunday best and like get out the fine china and like one, nobody's got time for that. And two, you can have the same experience being more casual in your yoga
outside,
pants, right?
Yeah, outside with a grill. Yeah, it's that's how it works now.
And most of us like can't afford houses. That's a huge one too. Like millennial generation, we're trying to go out and buy houses, but there isn't any.
Right, so the market is crazy right now.
It's like, why do I need china?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I remember back I used to work at a store called Brand Jewelry and Gifts, and we had a bridal registry, and everybody, that was a thing, that everybody came in and registered, and you registered for china. I can't explain to you just how few times, my china's not even out. It is in the basement.
Yeah.
I've never used it, and at whatever point in my life, I'll get rid of it.
Yeah.
It was just stupid. I could have used a Vitamix more than I could have used the china.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. We didn't even we put bowls on ours because we really needed bowls. We got, actually for our wedding, we got these beautiful, like almost like pasta bowls. Oh my God. I'm like, it was one of our favorite gifts because we use it all the time, but
if I had to register it out, it would be entirely different. I'd be asking for a sushi maker, a Vitamix.
The best thing I put on my registry was the Vitamix.
Noodle bowls, gift cards, things like that. Not china.
No.
You know, it's just crazy.
You could just go to the dollar store or something and find really good plates.
I bought my set of dishes that I use. I bought 2 sets from Amazon. They were $80 a piece, and they came with everything. And I bought a bunch just because in case I broke something.
Yeah.
You know, and I did. I broke a plate the other day, so now I only have 7. But when am I going to have 7 people at my house?
Right.
You know? At the most, it's going to be me, myself, Roger, myself, my other personality, DJ, Matt, and 2 other people.
Yeah. In the cutout of me.
Yeah, there you go. The cutout of you and Carson. Yes. But yeah, it's crazy. It's how things have changed.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody buys curio cabinets anymore. Remember, that was a thing of the past. As I sit here again and look at my 2 curio cabinets.
I love yours though.
And I mean, all my stuff is in there. My mortar and pestle collection is in there. And now they're out. I don't have any room left to go in there. But I do love my curio cabinets because it's got all my stuff in it.
Exactly.
You know?
That's what I've done with my bookshelf. Like, there's books in it, but it's turned into my oddities cabinet. Like, if you are a collector of odd things, those would be fantastic to display them. Like teeth and stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right? It's crazy. I mean, just how much things have changed and how, like, my mother's stuff is all going out on a table at a yard sale for sale. Because it just, I don't have anywhere for it, and I would not want to have a place for it. And that's not saying that's not insulting her taste or being disrespectful. It's just, it's very different. My house is full of things that she would have never dreamed of having in her house.
Different lifestyle.
Yeah.
Totally different lifestyle.
I mean, I think of all the things I have downstairs. My mother collected that cobalt blue stuff. It's a dark blue, and it has like Oriental or Asian stuff.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I have 2 boxes downstairs full of that stuff. I have my grandmother's pink set of dishes that now this is old. My grandmother collected these she would buy 50-pound bags of flour. And they did a promotion where with each 50-pound bag, 1 piece of this dishware came in the flour. So can you imagine how many 50-pound bags of flour she had to have an 8-piece place set?
Why do you need that much flour?
Right. Why do you need that much? Well, that's back when you didn't buy. My grandmother made everything. Yeah. She made biscuits. She made homemade biscuits every morning and every evening. So, 50 pounds goes by really quick.
Grandma's Southern biscuits.
Oh, my gosh. They were the best, too. They were just the best. My grandmother, she cooked all the time. My mother, when she was younger, before she got older and kind of couldn't do it anymore, she cooked all the time. And nobody ever made anything that wasn't scratched from homemade. Nothing. Cake, You didn't buy box cake mix. You made a cake.
Right? Yeah.
You didn't buy frosting. You made frosting.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, because you had all that stuff around. So
yeah, and it's like, we don't have time for that. Right? Right? Like, maybe if that's what you're into, but we don't need to do that.
And when it's hot outside, I'm not cooking.
Oh, hell no. No. And, like, actually, when you're talking about your grandmother's china, it makes me think of, like, respecting our ancestors. Mm-hmm. And, like, a lot of people have stuff like that who are witches, like, on their altar. Like, they'll have, like, their grandmother's teacup or, like, their mother's...
I thought you were going to say your grandmother's teeth.
I mean...
That'd be pretty cool, actually. That'd be amazing.
Actually, right? Or, like, something that brings up good memories to, like, put on your altar. Because I know I have a few things from my grandmother that I keep that have no, like, purpose other than the fact that it helps me to, like, remember her and, like, honor her in a way. And I'm sure there'll be, like, weird stuff that if my mom... I was going to say, if she ever passes away. My mom's, eternal. My mom
your mom's
die.
eternal.
No.
Yeah, there's no chance of that happening.
Probably some, like, weird stuff I'm just going to keep that's hers that has no other meaning other than it reminds me of her. Like a plastic animal or something.
Yeah, I think there are certain things that I find to be just bring a lot of memories because they just bring back memories of really, really good times. Like my dad's Native American artifact frames and stuff like that.
Those are fantastic.
And, things like my dad was one of the biggest collectors in North Carolina, guys. So that he collected Native American artifacts, axes and arrowheads and all kinds of things. And he could tell you how old each one of them was. He could tell you what tribe they came from. He was amazing with that. And he even made his own wooden frames to showcase them in. And he had about, I think, 8, 9 different ones. And I have one. My dad always said I picked the best one.
Yeah.
But
I've just never seen a collection, one so well loved, and just like to get woo for a second, like the energy that you kind of feel with it. I didn't even know your dad, but like how old those things are, and like who touched it, and like the history behind it. It's just so amazing to actually like have in your home.
Exactly. I feel that way too. I love having it there, and my brothers have the other ones, and eventually maybe I'll get another one so that I'll have one for each of the kids. And that's just, to me, that's the thing that ties our family together, because we all went with my dad when we went hunting and plowed fields for these things. Yeah. We all went with my dad. I complained all the time. I never enjoyed it. Now I collect rocks, so it's crazy. But, it's just something that we all thought was important. And so it's special. Yeah. It's special to me. So it's those things that I like. Yeah. I want to keep things that really bring me memories.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like, stuff is stuff. It's the memories behind the stuff that makes it important. But then sometimes you find really cool things that have really cool energy. That you've never had before.
And you know what's funny is, like, when I was going through, not that families keep secrets, which they do, but I was going through my mom's stuff. When my mom passed away, I was going through her drawers to make room for my brother's stuff, because my brothers are living in our house now. And so I was going through one of her drawers, and I was pulling things to the side, and it was socks. I don't know why she had this enormous amount of socks. I don't understand it. It's literally 100 pairs of socks. I'm not kidding. And they were all white. Wow. Every single last one of them were white.
And they were all matching?
All of her underwear. Every single one white. And so I'm going through the sock drawer, and I felt something hard underneath the socks, and it was a box. And I pulled it out, and it was a little box about, 3 inches square on each side. And it was an old box. And on the inside was a baggage claim and an old dry corsage. And it was my mother's ticket to go to Seattle, Washington to see my dad to move to be with my dad after they had gotten married. She was 15 years old.
Cute.
And the corsage, this was back when you dressed up to go on planes.
Oh.
The corsage was what she wore. And then the other thing that was in there was her wedding gloves that she'd worn when she got married.
That's so cute.
Just the greatest thing. So I had this idea. Actually, Roger had this idea because he's more creative than me. I'm going to get a shadow box. Yeah. And we're going to put all those things in it. And then on the side, we're going to make a little cut and put her wedding band in it.
Oh.
and have it as shadow
love
box.
That would be so cute.
Mom, and that's the thing. My mom and dad were so in love, and to see that she kept that all those years, and she always said after my dad died, I said something about, we talked about her getting married again. Would she get married again? And I was kind of joking about it, and she looked at me very serious, and she said, "Honey, I am married."
Oh.
She's like, "I'll never be not married."
Yeah. I love that.
Just the most amazing 58 year.
So cute.
Oh my gosh! It was the greatest thing.
I don't know if I could answer the same, honestly.
I don't know of anybody that could answer it that way. She did, but she said, "Honey, I am married, and I will never not be married."
Yeah.
And I just picture, I guess, and when she died, we mixed her ashes with my dad's.
Oh.
And we set.
I'm gonna start crying. I'm feeling emotional.
And we set the ashes free on the property, and they were together. And I just will never forget when that week I was home when my mother passed away. Before my mother passed away, there was this cardinal that kept coming around, and we don't typically get cardinals at my house. We get a lot of bluebirds and blue jays, but the blue jays usually chase off the cardinals. And there was this cardinal that kept hanging out at the hummingbird feeder, which was really odd. And when my mother passed, the cardinal never came back. I've asked my brothers, "Have you seen the cardinal?" And they're like, "No."
No.
That was my dad. It was my dad. He was waiting on my mom. And this has gone on to a totally different... I derailed onto a totally different topic from yard sales to death. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
But it really is. It's everything has energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you said. Everything has energy. And when you pull an object from, whether it's a yard sale or an antique store, anything like that, everything has its own energy, and sometimes it holds energy from the past. I mean, that's what I believe.
Yeah, I am right there with you, actually, on that one. Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah.
That's why I don't buy mirrors.
Absolutely not. Mm-mm. I will never buy a used mirror.
You don't know who's looked in that mirror.
No. There has been occurrences that I have personally had that people have brought mirrors into their house, and the energy in the whole house changed. Bad. Like, so bad.
Same.
And they started fighting more, and, you hear footsteps. I'm sorry, but no. Don't ever bring a mirror into your house unless you know what you're doing.
Never scry with a used mirror. Never. Unless you've saged it and you know for sure that you've gotten rid of any residual energy. If you know what scrying is using a reflective approach to be able to contact spirits, to be able to see future, past, present, and you use a mirror, or you can use obsidian for it, things like that. Never scry with a used mirror that you don't know for sure has been saged and purified, because that's trouble.
No. Yeah, that's on the same... There's certain things. That is one of them in Ouija boards.
Yes.
Those two things... Even if I am the most logical person and I become like Carson someday and I'm just logical, those two things are going to stay in my absolutely not. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. They scare me.
Mm-hmm. Portals.
Yeah.
Portals.
Because I'm going to look in one of those mirrors one day and something's going to be looking back at me and I will die.
That's one of the first things that you and I connected on. I remember we talked about this, about antique stores and how... it's hard to go in antique stores. I love them, and I love to go exploring in them and everything, but at the same time, I feel all kinds of weirdness.
It's so weird.
And then I go out and I feel like I have to take a shower.
Yep.
Because there's so many vibes. There's so much energy that comes off all of those objects that are sitting there.
I get really heavy in my chest. Some more than others. I feel heavy. And, it's almost like emotionally drained sometimes.
That's how I love to go to antique stores and look for jewelry.
Yeah.
And I buy a lot of jewelry in antique stores and used jewelry, things like that. And mostly because I can get a good deal on them and it's pretty and it's different and it's unusual stuff. But I bought a cameo in an antique store in Vermont. And I loved it. It's 3 women dancing.
I love that.
It's gorgeous. I've never seen a cameo like it. I had to have it. And I wore it once. And it just felt weird. My jewelry feels like my jewelry. It has my imprint on it. This cameo never had my imprint, and I never could imprint on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I wore it once, and then I hung it in my jewelry box, and I never wore it again.
Yeah, that's it.
And literally, it sat there, and it was sterling silver, and it's tarnished to death. So I thought, maybe it's because it's a necklace. Maybe I need to make it into a ring. Maybe that will help.
Yeah.
So I went to my jeweler. Yes, I do have to have a jeweler.
Mm-hmm. Is that the one down in Palmer?
Where?
Where?
Digriardi Jewelers. Yes, wonderful people. And he turned it into a ring for me.
That's cool.
It still doesn't work.
Weird.
I put it on, and I'm like, oh, that's really pretty. I came home, took it off, stuck it in my jewelry box, haven't worn it since.
Yeah.
It's just, I could never, I have all kinds of used jewelry. I have all kinds of jewelry, antique jewelry, that I put on, and immediately it takes on my imprint.
Yeah.
My mother's jewelry took on my imprint. This one just, it wouldn't. It's almost like it wasn't meant to be mine.
Yeah.
It was meant to be whoever it belonged to.
I wonder if you just, like, hold on to it, and you're going to meet somebody that you're like, I know why I bought this.
Yep.
And you're going to give it to them.
It's got to be something, because it just wasn't meant to be mine.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like my jewelry.
There's certain things like that.
Mm-hmm.
There definitely is. Like, even, like, we've talked about this before, but environments,
Mm-hmm.
like, I can't be here.
Right.
For no reason, you just feel like you're being pushed out, or it's like I was not meant to be here, or even, I feel that way a lot around people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am not meant to be around you.
Yep.
I'm going to go.
I'm going to go right now.
I'm going to go right now. I'm going to Irish goodbye the hell out of this situation. I am out.
But yeah, I think it just, I think there's certain energies that aren't meant to go together. And this cameo and me, we're not meant to be.
Yeah, I know people talk about it in, like, levels. Like, there's different, like, what's the sound called? I know it's, like, different, like, sounds.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like,
different frequencies.
Different frequencies, yes. And, like, whether it's sound or, like, physical environment, I think it's very true.
Vibration.
Like,
I mean,
we each, our individual vibe, like, clicks better with certain people. And then there's certain people you feel, and you're like, you just feel heavy around, or you feel like you have to, like, go down to their energy level, or, like...
And it's almost like you have an aversion to certain things. Like,
yes.
I have an aversion to certain crystals. Like, I don't like citrine. And my husband's birthstone is citrine. So I will never have a mother's ring or family ring, because I hate citrine. I hate it so much. And I don't hate all orange stones.
Yeah.
It's just citrine that I have an aversion to.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's just, I mean... every time I hold it, I get like a metallic taste in my mouth. I just hate it.
And I know people say, too, like, the things that you need the most are the ones you're most averse to. I don't know about that.
I don't want that. I don't like that.
I've heard that with, like, essential oils. Oh, the one that tastes the worst or whatever. And I'm like,
that seems the opposite of what it should. Folks who do essential oils, folks who do crystals, if you want to message us and tell us we're wrong.
Yeah, is there proof behind that? I mean, I'm willing to be like,
sure, absolutely.
Like, if there's like some proof, that's awesome. I mean,
now I always tell people who were asking about going to get crystals for the first time, they'll be like, well, should I get this stone for this? I'm like, here's what you do: you go into a store that has crystals and you see what you're drawn to.
Which one makes you happy when you see it?
Which one makes you happy? Which one makes you feel at peace? That's what you're looking for. You're not necessarily going, okay, I need love in my life, so I'm going to get some rose quartz.
No,
let it speak to you.
And we're so addicted. Going back to the conversation that we had earlier, we're almost taught and we're addicted to wanting to constantly have to fix ourselves and be around negative things, right? So it's like that whole like, oh, you should do what makes you feel bad because you'll somehow grow from it. No,
thanks.
No,
thank you.
We get enough crap every day. Why don't you have a crystal that makes you more happy?
Yeah.
Like, why do we always have to dig up our shadows constantly?
What makes you feel good? And if you're going for crystals that are going to cure things, or if you think it's going to cure something, then you're going at it from the wrong angle. And the same thing with tarot cards, and the same thing, with essential oils. I want to go with what makes me feel good, not what combats my ghosts.
Exactly. Like, there's certain essential oils that are supposed to be like good for you, because I got oh, it's gonna be negative. I was gonna say like, oh, I got caught in the essential oils trap for a little, but no, that's not right.
No, it was the person. It wasn't the oils.
And I love essential oils. Like, I think they're wonderful, and I will go on and on about essential oils, but
I love to diffuse them.
Yeah, I love to diffuse them. They make me happy. But I was also taught initially that like the ones that are you shy away from are the ones you should
really
probably
need.
have the most. No, I would rather smell lavender and it remind me of my childhood, or lemongrass. And I use it as like mood boosters. I have this like orange vanilla one that I just like all of a sudden I just like sniff.
Yeah. I want to sniff what puts me at peace, what makes me happy.
Right? Like I feel bad enough sometimes. Like why do I want to dive into that? I do that. That's what therapy is for.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
It is.
I just want to be more positive.
We are complex human beings. We're complex beings.
So complex. I agree. There's so much.
So, guys, I think this is a good place to probably end this episode of catch up and going down all kinds of paths.
What did we even talk about?
There's so many things we talked about. Don't ever ask me to repeat this episode because I couldn't. This was all over the place, which is okay because we're catching up. It's been a while since we've caught up with our good friends who are our listeners, and it's nice to be back, and nice to be back with you, Sarah. And we're back.
We're back.
Woohoo!
So excited. Okay, well, like Lori said, thank you guys so much for joining us.